Mr. Richmond Manyweathers has a furniture shop in Casino, and he's also the town's mayor. 8,500 people live here, among them 12 Aboriginal families who live and work in the town. Mr. Manyweathers, how do these people get on with the rest of the Casino people?
Very well, as far as the town of Casino is concerned and the district. There is no colour bar whatsoever as far as we're concerned in Casino and district.
If Box Ridge were closed down tomorrow, do you think that you and the other people in Casino would have the Box Ridge people living among you in town here?
Well, that would present a problem because these people have not been really trained in the use of so many things in connection with hygiene, and due to their tribal laws, which mean that many of them love to get together, it would be a little bit difficult. We have experienced in one case in Casino where one family, well, the house belonged to many of the Aboriginals in the district, and this does present a problem.
What's wrong at Box Ridge?
Well, Box Ridge has, of course, many problems. They're terribly overcrowded. It's not fair that people should live under those conditions, but before they could be transplanted from Box Ridge to Casino or anywhere else, they must be trained to take their place as citizens in the community.
Whose responsibility is that, do you feel?
Well, I think it must rest with the board. They are the people who are responsible, as for Aboriginal folk in the state of New South Wales.
And what could have been done there that hasn't been done?
Well, they could have been given decent places to live in. You can't expect people to live in galvanised iron shanties, draw water from a communal tap, to be clean when you've only got 2 cold water showers. You can't expect them to improve themselves very much when they haven't got even electric light.
Were conditions always like that?
No, they weren't as bad as that in the days gone past because there weren't as many folk there. Probably 20 years ago, I couldn't say a definite period, there was a manager, there was a matron, there was a school, there was a church with about 1/3 of the population which are there today.
And none of those things are there now?
No, the school has closed down and the church has closed down and they're occupied by some of the families which are there. And the matron and the manager are gone. And there's just an overseer who looks in very occasionally, I believe.
Mr. Brown, what do you think of Box Ridge?
Well, like many other settlements of its kind, I feel that it's a disgrace to Australia. The main problem is the indifference of the white people to the conditions under which the Aborigines have been forced to live over a long period of time, and that in itself has created the problem of Aborigines who've become used to handouts and who've become disillusioned about promises and in many cases have lost all hope of any improvement in their conditions.
Well, what can effectively be done, do you think, to overcome this?
I feel that the main problems associated with the Aborigines are those of employment, housing and hygiene, and these problems can only be overcome by the federal and state governments realising their responsibility to the original Australians and making available regular employment instead of seasonal work and decent housing conditions and training them in matters of hygiene.
Why is it we've only just heard about a place like this?
I think mainly because of the indifference of people. Usually when people read something about Aborigines, they just turn over the page to the next item and look for something sensational, and it's only when someone in authority, such as a bishop, makes a startling statement that people really sit up and take notice. But these things have been said over and over again, but people have just ignored them.
What's your attitude to the board? Should they have done more about Box Ridge?
I feel that the board should have done quite a lot about all the stations, but on the other hand, the board is limited by the finance which is made available to it by the state government.
Now, somebody said to me today that if you did bring these people into the towns, there'd be a lot of opposition from the townspeople. Do you think that's true?
In some cases, there would be. Some Aboriginal people are not yet ready for assimilation completely into the white community, which is not their fault. They've never been given the opportunity. They live under these deplorable conditions with very few amenities, and they've never been trained to live as the white people do, and therefore they're not ready for assimilation. But there are others who have had some opportunity of living with white people, living in towns, who are ready for assimilation, and there would be very little problem with those.
Somebody also said to me that it's all very well for you to make a fuss about this, but you wouldn't have these people living with you or near you.
Well, my wife and I had an Aboriginal girl living with us for 12 months. We took her in at the request of the local Aborigines welfare officer, who asked us to find a home for her, and we thought, well, we couldn't ask anyone to take her in if we weren't prepared to take her in ourselves, and we were quite happy to have her with us, although there were problems associated with training her in our ways of living, but she responded very well while she was with us.
Well, there must be some problems in the town, aren't there?
Yes, there are some problems associated with Aborigines who come in from outside and go to drink as a solution to, or what they feel is a solution to their problem of feeling inferior. It's their way of showing the white man that they just don't care what he thinks about them. And then there's the problem of some of the girls soliciting men in an endeavour to gain money which they can't seem to get any other way.
What's going to happen to the children?
Well, in places like Box Ridge, unless something is done to raise the standards of living, the children will end up as their parents are, in humpies. Something must be done to raise the standard of housing and employment so that the children will be assimilated into our community.
Mr. Brown, what sort of reaction do you get from people towards the kind of work that you're doing for the Aborigines?
Well, some people think that it's quite a good work and a Christian duty. There are other people who think that I'm a communist because I'm concerned about the welfare of these people.
Mr. Ralph Winterton is a railway worker. He lives in the same street in Casino as some of these Aboriginal families. Mr. Winterton, what do you feel about that?
I feel they're quite all right to live alongside, the Aborigines. I've got no trouble with them at all. They're quite good families.
And everybody gets on well?
They all get on well, and they never create any trouble. They're good kids. The kids are all well behaved in the yard, and there's quite a few of them about too, I don't mind telling you. There's 8 lives down there in one house, and there's 4 in the other house, and there's about 4 in the house further down.
Do you think at places like Cubberwee and Box Ridge that the Aborigines get a fair go?
No, they've never got a fair go in those places. They shouldn't be on reserves. They should give the same to them as what they give to what we get. Same chance of an education, the same house to live in, and they should do something about that. It's long overdue, long overdue.
Some people seem to think, or at least they object to them on the grounds of hygiene and things like that.
Their hygiene, I suppose, is just as good as anybody else's if they give them a place to live in where they can practice good hygiene.
This is Box Ridge. Just over here is a cemetery for the dead. And what Bishop Davies has called a cemetery for the living is all around us. This has been an Aboriginal reserve since 1908. 110 people live here in 12 houses or shacks. There are 18 in one and 17 in another. Water was laid on for the first time 5 years ago. There's one communal water point. There's a laundry there, a shower recess, a coal shower for men, and one for women. There's no light and no power. We're going to talk now with some of the people who live here at Box Ridge. How long have you been here, Mr. Capeen?
About 2 years now.
And where do you live?
I live in the tin shed there.
You married?
Yes, married.
How many children?
6.
Well, there are 8 of you living in that shed.
8, that'd be 8.
Are you happy living there?
No, I'm not. I wish I had a house of my own.
And what are your chances of getting one?
Well, it's been 100 years since Captain Cook come in. I don't think there's no chance at all yet. We're getting any. We're still the same as when he came, when the white settlers first came here, I reckon.
What's going to happen to your children, do you think?
Well, I just don't know what's going to happen. I'm trying to get a better life for them, like better conditions, better than this.
What would you like them to do when they grow up?
I like them to, my wife wants to put them through college if she can.
What do you think you can do about it?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I could do much myself. You gotta have, like, somebody behind you. 2 or 3 of us. My wife is a member of the Advancement League. And she's, I got a lot of confidence in them. She thinks that they'll do a lot more for us than what the Welfare Board done. Because they all a lot of promise. They promise you this and that, and they never do any good.
Mr. Capine, why do you live in this tin shack?
Oh, well, because the place where I was living was overcrowded. I had to build this.
Where did you get the materials to build it?
Got it off a farmer, a few tins.
How much did it cost you?
30 shillings.
Are you happy here?
Yes, I am. Better off here than down island.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, you get more freedom here, and you haven't got the manager, you know, pushing you about.
And what about the living conditions?
It's bad here, the living condition. I'd like to see us get new houses. It's better for the children, better for ourselves. And, I think there'd be a better chance of assimilating us, dark people.
And you want that to happen, do you?
Yes, we do. Everybody's for it. And we get, I mean, here the white race of people is very nice to the dark people. I mean, there's no colour bar in the town here. You might find, you know, odd ones like that. The biggest majority of them here is pretty decent to us.
How long have you been here?
I've been here about 12 years now, I think. 12 years.
Are you working now?
No, not now. But maybe in a few weeks.
Why aren't you working now?
We just do seasonal work around here, and when the planting cane comes on, we go over there then.
It's hard to find work there, isn't it?
My oath is hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Well, what do you do for money?
Well, we generally get a few shillings from the social service. That keeps us going until we get on the job again.
What about the children, Mr. Caldwell? Do they go to school?
Yes, they go to school over here, and I think that's all that most of the people stay here, to keep their children going to school. Otherwise, I think they'd go out of it.
Where would they go?
Oh, they'd go out and live in the country if they didn't have the children to school.
What do you think? Do you think that life here is a happy one for people?
It would be if they had better living conditions.
Well, what can be done to improve them, do you think?
Well, for one thing, they have no bathrooms, they got no water laid on, and it's very hard for the women. We only have 2 showers, cold showers, and we've got to wait in turns to wash. There's only 2 sets of tubs, 2 coppers.
Is there much sickness?
And quite a lot at the present time.
What, the children or everybody?
Children and adults.
What's wrong with them?
Some's got the flu, and the other's children has got gastroenteritis.
Why do you think nothing is done about places like this?
Because we've asked so long. I've asked since 1936, before I was exempted from the board.
And why do you think nothing was done?
Because there was nothing done to the places. I've lived here since 1936.
But why wasn't anything done?
I don't know.
Do you think people just don't care?
I think so. Not for the Aborigines, I don't think they do.
And what about when they go into town? How do they get on with people in the town?
People of the town are very friendly. I can't complain about the town people.
How many years have you been living here, Mr. Breffen?
60 years, 66 anyway. I'm born here.
Well, if nothing's done, what will happen?
Oh, well, we'll have to just sue the government for the commission of the country. That's pretty hard, isn't it?
How would you do that?
Oh, well, sue them for what they call robbing Aboriginal freedom of the land. Rights of a man, citizen right of the man. That's robbing, isn't it? Any man rob any man, they call it a crime, don't they? Robbing Aboriginal freedom of his citizen right of this country, well, it's a crime. Don't you think they should be put in a jail? We black men gotta go in a jail. No matter what we steal a little bit, we gotta go in jail. Well, I want them to hear this, you hear? If they can't render the thing what is due to the Aborigines, we're going to take a legal action against the Liberal Party, Country Party, or Labour Party for a few £100,000.
Well, why?
That definitely is saying this.
Why has nothing been done, do you feel?
Nothing? You can see from nothing there.
But why?
Why? They don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything for Aboriginals. You can see for yourself, see? We've been talking about these last 15 years.
What's going to happen to the children?
Don't know. Don't know what they're going to do. Can't say nothing about it, so. They'll only have to die. That's all. No decent custody. They took all the goodness off the land. That's why. They can't do it for themselves, right?
But the children go to school in town.
Oh, yeah, they go to town, but they're all right that way. Then when they get sick, though, they send them to Lismore instead of looking out from here, too.
What can be done about the children?
Oh, nothing. I'd say nothing, but what they wanted ours. That's the problem.
Mr. Breckenridge, all you people here come under the Welfare Board.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Welfare Board, but the Welfare Board don't do nothing, see? Nothing.
Have you asked them to do something?
Hundreds of times. Too many times, I think. Getting sick for them. Inspector come round here inspecting. All day come round here, trying to find fault. Least little bit of fault they find, they book it up.
What kind of faults?
Oh, maybe dirty place, dirty people, something like that they'll say. You know, no, not rendering a thing that what is due to an Aboriginal, you know.
But couldn't the places be kept cleaner?
Yes, it could be cleaner.
Well, why aren't they?
You can't clean them with no water in the bed. Water down there miles away.
Some of your people here have told us that they're afraid to speak up about this.
Yeah?
Should they be afraid?
No. Well, I stood like representing Aboriginals for a good while, even against a policeman trying to remove the women from everyone's head, like, tell them I'll kick them out, see? I stood in front of them, I told them you can't do that. I want to, I told them that you can't move them because they're landmark of Australia. They are too, we're landmark of Australia. They can't remove us from any streets or anywhere like that, see?
Are people here afraid, though, to speak up?
Yeah.
Why?
See? Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether they got a knowledge and understanding of the policy of the country, see? You know what I'm speaking about?
Well, some of them seem to think that they'll be victimized if they speak
up. I suppose they think that. But I think they're afraid. We're what they call a democracy people. We're not democracy. You don't take me to democracy. See? I'm not democracy. And here they're all democracy all around. Foreigners come round here, you get our first #1 priority. I'll tell you one instance. Hefron said Aboriginal kid is born in Australia, he's not a citizen of Australia. Is that right? Hefron, Premier. And he said migrant kid is born in Australia, he's a citizen of Australia. You see? Of course he is, because he's native born Australia, see? But Aboriginal people, me, I'm not. Somewhere wrong here. That's right.